Hey, just for your love, if I gave you the world, Mona Lisa smile. Hey, oh. Where y'all at? Oh. Just for your love. The way they remixed, chopped, and screwed that song for this Rue episode, baby. Hi, welcome back to another evening of a film/TV dissection. I am your host, JustLatasha. Please lowercase the T in my name. Put it all in one word. Make it nice, make it cute. So happy to be back with you guys for another evening. If you are not a patron by now, you played yourself. Yesterday, we dissected in a private chat Moonlight. We had such a deep, beautiful, grounding conversation, which I actually hope to have again tonight. Patreon.com/JustLatasha. Become a patron for $5. You get access to the extra videos, private content. $15, you get to come on camera and talk with me. We're doing that in 2 weeks, again, last Sunday of the month. And tonight's going to be different. Tonight's going to be different because I'm going to dissect the first 5 minutes. And then after that, we are just talking like a family. No audience questions, no color theory, not like that at least. But tonight, I think what we saw with the Rue episode was so... We gonna get in our feelings, and that's just it. We get in our feelings, period. Okay, so I'm gonna be in the chat a lot. I want you guys to be in it with me, talk with me, give me your feelings at each and every point of the way, because we gonna talk like family tonight. That's what's gonna happen. Okay. I'm still very emotional from everything I've seen. And because I trust y'all and I feel like I know y'all because we've become these incredible internet friends, let's just do it. Let's just do it. If you haven't done so, please follow me on my social media. I am JustLatasha on Instagram. I'm JustLatasha404 on Twitter. I'm also on Clubhouse. If you guys are on Clubhouse at JustLatasha. I don't speak a lot, but I'm getting into it. I'm a triple earth sign. I like to stay where I'm at. I don't like to explore and go new places, but I'll be watching y'all. And I am in the middle of producing my sketch comedy series, JustLatasha's Interactions, which I'm sure doing these dissections and making a comedy sketch series are two totally different things, and it's very confusing. Like, is she funny? Is she an actor? Is she a screenwriter? I'm all of it, okay? I'm all of it. and everyone's going to have to deal. But tonight I'm emotional. Thank y'all for joining hearts in the chat. We are going to get this started. This is a love room. This is a room of support. This is a room of collective positivity. We uplift each other. We support each other. All intersections. I want my trans babies. I want my non-binary babies. I want my they, thems, and I want my boys, girls. I want everybody in here, okay? We love and support everybody. Where I'm at. Abe RT always with the first comment. Somebody kind of got you today, but you low-key still the first comment. Abe RT, what's up, baby? Hi, Erica Mosley back. Nastivity. My baby Kalovna's here. What's up, Asia from Brooklyn? Mimi's here. Brittany. CJ, how are you doing? Hi, Keith. Marquise. Marquise is a brilliant mind. He needs no introduction or any further analysis on his name. Marquise Richards. Know him and know him quickly, lest ye get left behind. Okay, I see everybody in the chat. I want to thank you guys for being here tonight. I'm really excited to dive in and let's go through it. Okay, I feel like this episode last night happened in chapters. It happened in these chunks of these moments where it just took us from place to place. And baby, this is a master class on dialogue. So let's look at all the places this conversation has taken us and let's dive in together. Euphoria, the Rue episode, written by Sam Levinson. Put some respect on that white boy name. Whoa! Sam, good evening, sir. Shit. starring Zendaya, Coleman Domingo, or as I like to call him, my man Domingo, Hunter Schafer made an appearance. Her episode comes out January 21st next year. So we got to wait a little bit. This show is going to make us miss them the way Rue misses her so much. Okay, this is what we're doing. Let's start with the opening shot. Now, I just want to say, I did do a dissection of Euphoria's pilot a few months ago, and I just did the pilot. You may want to go watch that to understand what happened here. And if you guys were here, there's a lot of people that actually were in that dissection, and I think you already knew what this meant. If you knew the color theory that I already broke down for you a few months ago, you knew exactly what this meant. It felt too perfect, didn't it? Didn't it? It felt too perfect. But we have Jules dreamily laying in bed with her back turned. And with this haze and with that soft sun and with the color scheme, I knew from this moment that this wasn't real and this didn't exist. Because color theory tells you the story as well without hearing or seeing a word. As soon as this opened, I was like, oh, this isn't real. Why? We literally cannot see her. She's hiding her identity. She's hiding her face. And it felt too good. It felt too good knowing how Rue left off that last season. Also, the color theme is the Euphoria Galaxy. What is the Euphoria Galaxy? In Euphoria, season 1, episode 1, premiere, pilot, Rue shows us the entire history of her mental illness and what drives her to do drugs. And she has this laptop decal. Is that how you pronounce it? Decal. And it's a galaxy on her computer. And this is the surface that she often does drugs on. So when she smashes her drugs and she can't take it anymore, she wants to go on this trip. She smashes her drugs on this galaxy image and she snorts and flies away in her high brain, right? This moment, that being high, when she almost stops breathing and for a moment, everything just slows down and goes away. She's looking for that moment all the time. That is her euphoria. So whenever you see this galaxy blue, purple, pinkish color theme, this is what makes these characters most happiest place. So Jules with her back turned to us, we can't see her. The sun is perfect and dreamy and soft, and she's laying in this euphoria color theme. This is a dream of Rue's. How much you can tell just by looking at colors, right? This moment, this dream, this idea that Rue has is her euphoria because she doesn't have it in real life. And once you tight like that with your story, you're good. Okay, you're good. Right? But unfortunately, we have to say bye to Jules. And if you guys go back to that Euphoria dissection that I did a few months ago, I show you in that pilot episode each character's euphoria. And the show tells you by color theory. Whenever you see that character, they're surrounded by this pink and purple and this blue and purple. And you can see what they're chasing all the time. And by this color scheme, you can see that Jules completes Rue. You are the blue to my purple. You are my drug. You are my crack cocaine line. You are my snort. I love you, girl. And she leaves. And if we were to believe that this moment were real and she was happy and she got everything she wanted, you would have to ask, why would she relapse? Her sobriety depended on Jules being there and fulfilling her emotionally. So if you have it, then what would make you go do drugs as soon as she leaves, right? And again, I included an image from the Euphoria season 1 pilot when she's doing these drugs again on her Galaxy laptop. How would you have the same moment? She did the drugs when she was miserable in that pilot. Why would you do the drugs when you're super happy and this is everything you wanted? Because that's not a trigger for her. So then it leans into the fact that this is fake. This is not her euphoria. This is her pain. Okay. So now we're back in reality. She's in the bathroom stall, dreaming this all up, hitting that line, snorting them pills or whatever she's taking. I don't speak drug. I don't know what the hell she put in her little nose. I have no idea. But she's in this bathroom stall. And the first way we see her in this reality is through a mirror. We see her reflection first, AKA wearing a mask, AKA not being real. She's presenting an identity to us, to herself, and to the person she's going to meet, my husband, Ali. She getting high and getting ready to lie, Lord. So let's go see what the hell she on and talking about. Now, very first line of the episode when she sits with Ali in this diner, having some breakfast food later than night, Christmas Eve. I know you don't believe me, but I'm doing really good, actually. Are you? Do you see how, just like Jules, when Jules was sleeping in that bed, how we could not see her identity because we could not see the truth? It wasn't real. It's a lie. It's a facade. Look at Allie's face. You playing pool with the Minnesota Fats, baby girl. Look at Allie's face. You started off with the lie over pancakes right in front of my salad. You gonna lie to me? Again, I want to take a look at the colors. Now, the color theme of our Euphoria is blue and purple. It's that galaxy. However, this differs slightly, right? Because she's again in her late father's burgundy hoodie, which is like a darker version of that pink. The memory of him could be a euphoria, but this hurts too much. So it's not a euphoria, it's really a pain. But remembering him kind of does feel good, but knowing you had that for a little bit kind of feels good, but knowing that he's not here, it would always be a pain, so it's much darker. And that blue background all the way behind them, that joy is outside of her. And the goal here is, and solely, can you bring that joy here? Can you bring it in? Is the joy being outside of her the essence and the roots of why she can't and won't help herself? AKA, she says these kind of ideas. Well, if my father were alive, I would be happy. If Jules were here, I would be happy. These are things that are out of your control and out of your this is out of your essence. Your daddy being here is not a part of who you are in this living, existing moment. And Jules being next to you is not a part of your essence. You have to control this. So here's what we're going to be working on with Rue for the next hour, this dialogue masterclass. All right. Let me see what y'all saying so far. Rambo Jamboree, I love that name, says, so wouldn't that kind of be signifying that Jules is more of a damage to Rue than somebody that's good for her? I will challenge that by saying Jules absolutely could be good for Rue, but the way Rue puts her in a box, the responsibility that Rue throws on Jules to help her stay clean and sober, that's a lot for any 17-year-old. That's a lot for your partner who's just there to love you. That doesn't give Jules the freedom to discover herself as she grows. Or what if Jules messes up? Then Jules is going to take that blame for Rue's relapse. And that is super unfair and scary. I remember I had a partner who put the weight of his problems on me all the time because I'm an incredible ass woman. It looked like I could handle a whole lot. And low key, I could, but I don't want to. Do you know what I mean? I want to love you. I want to support you. I want to be your partner. I want to grow with you. But if you're hammering the weight of the world on me, and then I got to pick all that up for you and love you and be myself and carry my own stuff, I gotta go. The fuck? Minnie said, not you thirsting for Ali. My man's Domingo. Don't play with me. Brittany says, every time I see a mirror in a show, I think of you in these reviews. I'm telling you, it be the thing. It be the thing. All right, let's move on. Just a tip and trick. I don't know if you guys are screenwriters or filmmakers or what you guys' passions are in this chat, but just in case any of you may align with this, the key to dialogue and building a scene with dialogue is that you have to hit several highs and lows, right? Here are the points you want to hit. Who has the power? Who wants what? AKA, what is the problem? Do they get that thing that they want? Yes or no? It must be a very clear answer. And whose emotions changed by the end? Why were we all so intrigued with watching one long scene for an hour of two people talking in a booth? Because essentially what Sam Levinson has been able to create is multiple scenes within one scene. He's changed who has power. He's changed who's asking for what. He has created hills and valleys with emotion. Sometimes he's angry. Sometimes he's sad. Sometimes he's hopeful. Sometimes he's very cheerful. Sometimes he's like, stop that bullshit. Right? And throughout this entire scene, I could see that the shifts of where the conversation was going, they're asking different things of each other and they're staying in those moments and then they pull away and stay in those moments. Sometimes Rue had power and Ali had to come down. So this really is a masterclass. Just throwing that out there, put it in your pocket, keep it or not, know it, have what you have. I just had to let you know what was going on, right? So here's our first chapter. The point. What is the point? And Rue says, Jules isn't the point. I'm the point. Baby girl, you're missing the point. Okay. Ali has a checker. No. Baby girl, the point is your sobriety, staying clean, being okay, being well, right? So what is essentially Rue asking of him right now? Can you believe my lie? No. Can you join this delusion with me? Because like I'm well and I know you see it. Right? And Ali from here takes the power by knocking off her BS. Cut it out. You're high. You're not well. You have nothing figured out. You're off balance. I don't know what you're talking about. Boop. Boop. Knock that ass right down. Okay. Any filmmakers, screenwriters in the room, give your characters a why. Ali and Rue give their reasons right here. Start of the show, and this is where they take the entire scene. Ali says, I'm just a crackhead who's trying to do a little good on this earth before I die. With that internal essence, that makes every action he does, everything he says comes from that place. I'm somebody who messed up and trying to do good now. He will make every single thing he does from that point on, from that starting point. Rue, drugs are the only reason I haven't killed myself, AKA I want to die. So why try, right? She literally doesn't try to help herself do anything. She doesn't try to help because it doesn't matter to her. I'm gonna be dead anyway. None of this feels good. I'm not motivated to do anything. I'm not going to make a plan because my plan is to not be here anymore. Very sedentary, right? The ask from Ali, which he accomplished, his goal was met. I got to get her to tell the truth. And he gets her to say that. Only reason I'm doing drugs is because it stops me from killing myself. Whew. How we feeling? We good? Because we gonna get in our feelings tonight. Are we good? Checking in on my babes. We gonna get there, as Stu, who says their dialogue about who dies and who doesn't had me crying. Yes. All right. The babies are here. We're good. We're good. Shout out to Cleotrapa. She is so funny and so cute. We're good. Whew. I'm a piece of shit. You're not a drug addict because you're a piece of shit. You're a piece of shit because you're a drug addict. You understand? Let's talk about blame. Let's talk about guilt and blame, which keeps so many of us frozen in our problems, which are rooted in something in the past, an action that we've done, a thought that we've had, where we get stuck and we start toiling, right? We just start doing this empty, busy work or doing no work at all because we're stuck in a place of blame. And Rue blames herself because she's an addict. And what freedom does Ali offer her? What he offered her was a different perspective, which frees her. You're not a piece of shit. It's because of the drugs and your mental illness, which is affecting you. Rue is without blame, and she needs to know that. You are not, this is not your essence. You are not essentially a piece of shit. That's not how you're built. You're sick, and your sickness and your addiction is causing you to be this thing. You are without blame. Baby, the way that I can't speak because I'm not an addict, but the way that would free me, so many things I know in my personal life I've tackled on because it's just like, it's my fault. And you stay there. It's my fault. I did this. And essentially you're not letting it go. He asked her to forgive herself right here. Are you capable of that? And he also, saying it without saying it, he asked the world, us, we're included in this very much. He asked the world to forgive addicts and extend grace. So many times, if you're dealing with someone who's an addict, you're not knowing and shifting the idea that they're sick. And their sickness is making them do these things that you really disapprove of, that are affecting you negatively, that you're frustrated and they're selfish and they are all these negative things that you can describe them as. The world doesn't let us be sick. The world is mad because we're these things, all these labels that they tackle on us. And I was having this conversation yesterday with my patrons about Moonlight, the way Barry Jenkins wraps his flawed characters in love. Because in Moonlight, he created a character named Juan, played by the incredible Mahershala Ali. And Juan, even though he was gentle and he was a father figure to Chiron, and he had this loving girl at home and he took care of his family, he was a drug dealer and he was the top one on the block. Do you know how much violence that takes? Do you know pumping poison into your community by way of crack cocaine and all the other drugs that he was selling? Do you know how flawed he'd have to be? But what Barry Jenkins did to a drug dealing character was give him grace and forgiveness. And we were made to love that character. We would have to know by watching him what kind of things he would have to do to become that guy. But the guy that Barry Jenkins introduced to us allowed us to love him. Can we do that to actual addicts in the world? I know I live in New York City. I see these sick people every day. When I was younger, I used to say the most terrible things about where they should be and get a job and they should go and they With the things that I know now, I would never let that leave my mouth. It's a sickness. They need grace. They need forgiveness. They need help. They don't need that judgment. They don't need that. CJ says, I loved Ali's response to that. The leaning on I ain't shit anyway narrative is a trap. And you continue in this cycle because you don't believe you deserve more than this misery. We're going to talk about deserving because this show brought us there. We're going to talk about deserving. Stephanie says, we are not our mistakes. It's all about the lessons. And can we learn that on the journey? Oh, It's very powerful. Mosley says, we legit treat addiction as a moral failing. Marquise says, it's difficult for families because he can be pain because I'm sorry, Marquise, I think I'm missing this. Because his pain can be right in the home and we don't look to help, but to shun. It's very true. I know in my family, especially in the 90s, do you know how many of my Black family members were sick due to drugs, addicts due to drugs, VCRs robbed, stay away from this guy? And the normal feeling is to be frustrated. There's this person who's choosing this poison over and over and is willing to hurt you to go get more of that poison. But you have to reframe what that means in your mind about them. Can you go from judgment to grace? The 90s was rough. The 90s. Here's what I love about Ali. I love that he has all the answers. I love that he has all the answers, and he can relate to Rue and show her everything that she can't see about her addiction, about her delusions, or her future. Here, it's right here. I've been through it, already did it. This is what it looks like. How helpful, a savior. How helpful. And I also noticed that when we often looked at Ali, he is soaked in that blue. He is gentle and caring and sharp, but there's just like this residual sadness over him. And we see him laugh, we see him get hyped, we see him be like, it ain't that serious, girl, but there's just this residual heaviness when he speaks, right? And even if he hesitates before he lets you know what he's been through, he's going to tell you the truth, because his truth is a path that he's creating so you can help yourself, right? But there's such a sadness in there. And so we have another ask where Rue asks him about his past. And in order to help her, he has to submit himself to his vulnerability. So the power shifts, right? Now Rue has the power. And he has to become vulnerable and transparent. And he has to be an example of the no BS, no lying rule and standard that he set for this conversation. I'm gonna just tell her. But you see how soft he gets when he has to do it. And this was such an interesting part where Rue challenges Ali's belief in God, because her factual experiences contradict that good faith mess he's over there talking about. If I'm still here because God believes in me, did God not believe in my father who was good and had purpose? AKA, why the F would God keep me, a piece of shit who wants to die? Does that make any sense? That makes me angry. Shook him up. That got him. That one got him. But Ali offers something else while believing in God. If God isn't the higher power that you believe in, you could believe in your right to be alive. Because there's people that came here before you and fought tooth and nail so you can sit here and complain about having to be alive. They fought and died for your right to exist, period. All them big questions, I don't know. But you're here, period. And I quote, so what now? So what now? We could sit here and be mad, or we just gonna sit here. And here's the bigger conversation. Now, this is the part that got me. This is the part that shook me. Is y'all ready? So Rue's trying to be a little smart ass, and she says, I guess I'll exist and I'll become like the next Malcolm X, like whatever. Essentially putting her importance of existing on the work of her ancestors, aka the revolution. I guess in order to matter here, I'll go start a revolution. I'll go be Malcolm X. That'll make me matter. But let's think about that. Because even the revolution, as Ali explains to her, has been watered down so much that maybe all of that actually don't even matter. Everybody got a revolution, so much so that revolutions don't even matter. It's just more capitalism now. Go buy a Black Lives Matter t-shirt and a Colin Kaepernick hair pick. You protested. Maybe all of it doesn't matter, which would mean if we're thinking about the power of absolutes, all of it does matter. AKA, you deserve to live, period. A revolution won't make you valuable. Is a revolution valuable? What makes you valuable? Being here, period. And so if it's not the God that I believe that's going to make you hungry enough to stay here, and I quote, you got to create a new God. If y'all follow me on Instagram, y'all saw me put this in my stories, because as someone who believes in a higher power of many sorts, you got to create a new God. You got to believe in something greater than yourself, because everything else will fail you, even yourself. Baby, I got a question for Rue. Now, I got a question for Rue. Baby, how was you going to snort the galaxy when you are the galaxy? The belief is in the being and the existence, period. So Ali asked Rue to believe in something outside of herself, because what's inside of her is a sickness that's persuading her to choose death. And as long as I'm here, that's not an option. Talk to me. Y'all better talk to me. Y'all better talk to me. Marquis said, whoo, dragon. As Stu says, the way he ate up the white Gen Z, and spit him out. No, thank you. Stephanie says, just simply loving herself would be revolutionary. Let me tell y'all something. Y'all know where I got the name JustLatasha? A lot of people know this already, but it is a lot of new people as well. I created this name back when Beyonce did her self-titled. I even branded it the same black and pink as her, because there was something so powerful in watching Beyonce work through Destiny's Child, through several solo albums by then. And what is the self-titled number 5 solo album, the 5th solo album? Is it? I think so. After all of that, this is when you arrive. And what she told the audience, I remember her being so obsessed with perfection and planning, and everything got to be down to the T. And low-key, she still is like that, but she allows herself to like fuck up a little more often and be a little lax, right? But to have done decades of work and then at that moment decide to call it Beyonce and tell us how to receive her, like dictating the narrative, because it's her first and then the work. And I thought, there's so much time, especially as indie creators, and especially like just in my personal experience, I put so much value on, if I can accomplish this, if I could be this visible, if I can make this much money, if I could be on this platform, or if I could be a part of this brand, and if I could do this, and this, then I'm valuable, then I'm smart, then I'm worth it, then my creations matter, then all, and I put all these meanings and definitions and weight on external stuff. And that album taught me that me first. I'm valuable as is, and what I create and what I give y'all is the excess and the extra. It's the treat. Because I matter first. JustLatasha, and that's all I promise to give you. That's all I promise to be to myself. My name means something to me too. It's a constant reminder that all I had to do was be here. If I make stuff, cool. If I don't, cool. Same value. Same value. How are you going to snort the galaxy when you are the galaxy? Where's that euphoria? Can you bring it from the outside in? Can you bring it from the outside in? I just wanted to give that to you. Say, I needed that reminder. You better preach. Bring it in, y'all. The joy is already here. But let's talk about the voids. Let's talk about the vacancies. Not real rap, Asia. She sure is from Brooklyn. CJ says, yes, it's an ongoing exercise to find validation from within instead of relying on outside sources to reassure your worth. Come on, Siege. As Stu Kane says, Black is king. You were formed by the heat of the galaxy. Oh, I know y'all seen that Black is king review. Don't blame me. Let's talk about these vacancies because they both got them. Now, Ali spread a good word and good messages to our good sis Rue. He was doing the work, but he was soaked in that blue. That blue covered him because they both have vacancies. They both are facing these large voids in their essence, right? So what do we think are the vacancies that stop Rue from reaching her euphoria? Let's name them. I want to hear y'all and see what y'all think. What are Rue's vacancies that stop her from reaching her euphoria? There's plenty. Local Jamaican. That name is so funny. Local Jamaican. Why am I self-reflecting right now? Just that word. Just that. Just that. That splat. Let's go through the voids that Rue has found in her life. CJ lists self-awareness. Number one. We cannot rely on Rue's stories at all, and we're definitely heading there. We're going to get to that conversation. Avoid is her passion, says A Bar T. Rambo says abandonment. How interesting. And I've seen that before. People are angry at their loved ones for passing. Y'all remember that YouTuber, the funny one who was accused of copying the comedy of Patrice O'Neal? Why am I forgetting his name? But he did the Mario Luigi sketch comedy. He an OG YouTuber. But I watched his vlogs. He had come back after a few years and he was just vlogging about the passing of his friend and all the hardships he had gone through. Like the past few years he was missing from YouTube. And he was so angry at his friend for passing. And I had never thought of that before. I've never seen that before. Usually you grieve, you mourn, you miss them, you're sad. He was angry. You got to think about that. Shayna says grief, fear of abandonment. Self-worth, says Heavenly Gains. Yes, Marquis says sense of self. As Stu says, her constant need to give all of her worth and grief to one person and is surprised when that person can't handle it and abandons her. Yes, A Barty, hot damn, I rock. Yes. If y'all seen that vlog, it be the comedians, bro. It really be the comedians. Like, whew. Cyrus Halen says, I don't ever remember her having her trauma addressed, like in therapy. All I hear is get sober, but then work. That is a great point. We've seen her get childhood. We've seen her get medicated We've seen her be stopped from over-medicating, self-medicating. We've seen her just like be expected to go to school and be home by curfew and take a P test. We've seen her go to rehab. And that's the fixing of the addiction to drugs. That's the fixing of the attachment to drugs. Has she ever had a moment offered to her when she could sit and flush out her feelings? So not only is she shoving all this down, but the world is keeping her quiet as well. Shh, don't say that. That's from Candyman, which ain't gonna come out till next year. Bro, that's a great point. And then people be mad when this pain is coming out in crazy ass ways, but have you offered her to lay her pain down, let it rest? Dang, bro, I never thought of that. Mimi says, this show is so realistic. I feel like we're talking about a real person. Crazy thing is, it's probably someone's real life. Yes, it's Sam Levinson's real life, the person who wrote this. This is his real life. And it's so interesting because he's telling his real life story, which is why it could be so personal and unique. And he said he never imagined that a Black girl could be in this spot. But when he saw Zendaya audition, he was like, fuck it. Yeah. That's how you do diversity. Anyone could play this story. Okay. Now it need a slightly bigger taste of Blackness, but we're happy we're here. All right. We're happy we're here. Some vacancies I came up with. These are some of the voids in her life. Sobriety, it's missing, it's gone. She can't find it. Jules, gone. Dad, gone. She's gone. She's become a shadow, like the shell of herself. Her will to live is gone. So then we can look at Ali and ask, what are the voids in his life? And he shows us right here in the scene. He goes outside to make a phone call. He has a vacancy in the form of a family. And this is so interesting because to us, he's a hero and he's a good guy, but to his family, he's a crackhead and abuser. We don't fuck with him. Cast out. He don't know how tall the babies are anymore. The babies barely remember that this is Papa Ali. Who is that? Is he calling? Oh, okay. His youngest daughter don't fuck with him like that. A man still paying for his past. Both of them have euphorias elsewhere. If I could just get this thing here, this could be my moment to be happy. They can't access these things. Let's talk about Jules' text. Sending I miss you text. Jules toxic, low key. Jules Hendricks. Jules Hendricks sending I miss you text at 7 p.m. on Christmas Eve. And Moses Sumney texted this. He was like, dang, you sent my song. That's toxic. Jules sends Rue a song, Me in 20 Years. And one of the lyrics said, I sleep with a cavity next to me. And towards the end of the song, have I become a cavity of you? We have to, again, consider, even though we love these two characters, how their loved ones are affected by their actions and addictions. Can you imagine how hurt Ali's family is because of all the decisions that he made? To them, he's the cavity. He's the void. Why couldn't my daddy be here? Why couldn't grandpa come home? What is his problem? He hit my mom. Fuck that guy. He's the cavity. To Jules, who knows how Jules is feeling in New York? You ain't come up here with me like you promised. I can't rely on you. You shifty. I'm just trying to love you and get to know you. We're young. We got the whole world in front of us and you acting up. You crying because I told you to kiss me? You got to cry and break down? Like, dang, you can't just like be my girl. If you like me, then just say that. You can't even say that. Imagine how Rue is the cavity of Jules. Heavenly Games reminds us that she just remembered Rue's mom was fighting with the health insurance company on the episode, so maybe therapy was hard to acquire. Definitely could be, but I know all the medications and bills, but I thought that argument was about, because the father was still alive there, and the hospital bills for taking care of his cancer, having him laid up in the bed and having house visits and all that machinery, that was running them bills up. So now that I'm thinking, maybe the mom forgot to get Rue therapy because at least she's not sick or dying. Think about how much the mom had to support two girls on her own while she has a dying husband in her bed. Maybe she forgot to take care of Rue, or didn't consider it because at least your sickness ain't as heavy and bad as dad, my husband. Y'all. eBay the Igbo says, I feel Jules represents addiction. She keeps pulling you in while slowly destroying you. Is Jules destroying Rue? Is she taunting her, teasing her, pulling her in and rejecting her again? Moses Subney is the 1 and the 2. I thought I was going to get a performance out of him for the Soul Train Awards or whatever they were showing the other day, and they cut him off. What is we doing? Who's making the decisions around here? That was the wrong one. Okay? That was the wrong one. Let's meet Miss Marsha. Here we come directly to the center of the scene. And usually when you get directly to the middle of a story of a movie, the entire story flips. You're going one journey, right in the middle, something happens, and it makes you switch sides and switch what's going on. So Miss Marsha comes right here at the midpoint. And this, I'm gonna show y'all, follow me. This takes us somewhere. This doesn't take us somewhere different. And that really frustrated me. And that frustrated me because of Rue. And that was true to her story and not because of screenwriting. Watch this. Right here in the middle, Miss Marsha presents a clear choice. Clear. Was my focus on dating or being clean? Rue, baby, you have to choose. There is no energy for both. Anything that's good to you ain't good for you. And something my grandmama said, baby, stay with me. Trouble don't last always. Miss Marsha. Miss Marsha. Dating or being clean. Anything that's good to you ain't good for you. You're going to have to make a choice. You can't do both. There's no energy to do both. And Miss Marsha says it was in her best interest when she was an addict to focus on being clean. She had to cut out dating. Here's where the genius in breaking the rule comes through, because at the midpoint, your character is supposed to change directions and start fixing a larger problem. Rue stays the goddamn same. The first thing she asked when she was presented with this very clear choice and option, she started talking about Jules. You're not getting it. Here's the genius in that. Rue is still so stuck in her delusion and stuck in her ways and so stubborn and so ready to not change that after the midpoint, she stays exactly the same. And essentially, from this point on, we're having the same conversations with Rue. Which makes me ask, does Rue even know the reality of her life? Does she know that she's even lying to herself? Right? Because were we watching the same show? Rue, are you watching the show that I'm watching? She thinks she and Jules is in a relationship. At no point in the show that I was watching did her and Jules look like a relationship to me. It looked like best friends who were crossing some boundaries sometimes and exploring and being curious. But Rue thought the entire time since the carnival that they were together. She thought they was monogamous with no conversation. Oh, that's a Virgo. And I say that as a Virgo. Drag me. I'll be in love with you, but I ain't going to say not a goddamn word to you, but you mine. And if you do anything outside of being mine, well, I actually, in my mind, only told you that you was mine, I'm going to be mad at you. Now you sitting here stuck wondering why I'm mad, and don't even worry about it because you already got me upset. Now we broke up. What's good? So she calls Jules' trip to New York when Jules met another girl. The freedom to do so, she called it cheating. She cheated on me, baby. We're going to have to wake up. We're going to have to wake up. What? Ah. Y'all. Pretty says, yo, not you dragging me. What's up, Virgo gang? What's up, Columna? CJ says, yes, I missed the romantic relationship. She thought it was implied. We would do it. Marquise a Virgo too. Way too loud out here. And thank you, Mosley. Jules was actively showing Rue her grinder hookups. We ain't together. I'm out here in motels getting bucked down. What's good? What is you on, baby? I gotta ask y'all. So now there's this conspiracy of whether or not the Rules tattoo inside the lip was real or not, which threw me for a loop. But now I gotta revisit the season. The theory on Twitter is that this tattoo did not happen. And now I'm sitting here looking inside Rue's lip while she's talking to see if I see a tattoo, and I don't see nothing. But my sister also has a lip tattoo, which you can't see when she's talking regular. So, guys, did they go out and get these tattoos, or was it a dream of Rue? Mostly said bust down, Juliana. Not bust down. Evo's also Virgo. What's up? Gang, gang, gang. Mimi says, this that Leo Virgo relationship. The way I just found out that I had hella Leo placements yesterday, I was like, I knew I had fire placements, but I didn't know where and what. I got 3 Leo placements. Let me tell you how that fucks me up, because I'm 3 Earth placements and I'm 3 fire placements. That means I'm either cool or I'm fucking not. That's crazy. I cannot stand myself. That's crazy. What did I do to deserve this chart? I'm either grounded and cool and everything, like just follow my rules and we good, or I'm burning it all. Killmonger in this bitch. Okay. Y'all are saying about this Rules tattoo. Rambo says, I don't think it's mainly because we didn't see Jules get one in the flashback. But Rue was holding her while she was sitting in the seat getting it, no? Chance said it was a dream. Jean says, I thought she was lying to not look goofy. Because we did see it in season 1. We saw those tattoos, but now I'm thinking, I don't even know if that actually happened or we were watching Rue's dream. Daja says, I think only Rue got it and she lied to Ali saying they just talked about it. A. Barty says, I thought the tats were real. Heavenly says, I don't think Jules would do that, so it's a total hallucination on Rue's part. I don't know, y'all. I don't know. I'm gonna have to go back to the show and see what the hell happened. All right, let's come back. We're almost done. Let's come back. We went so many places, but because Rue's not getting it, we have to start from the beginning again. We have to talk about the root of the issue. Because in the beginning of this conversation, Ali was trying to get her to go deep and ask yourself why, go deeper, look deeper. And Rue couldn't quite get there. The furthest we got was, I need to take these drugs so I wouldn't kill myself, right? So we come back to the root of Rue's wound. And her value of her self-worth is, I'm a piece of shit. Here's the thing when you have a narrative about yourself. Anything that happens outside of that confirms the narrative you already have about yourself. So if Rue's value is, I'm a piece of shit, well, when Jules left and chose New York, that confirmed that feeling. She wasn't worth staying for. When Jules met another girl when she was visiting New York, that confirmed that feeling. Like, I ain't with you. You're not worth loving. And we get to this emotional root where Rue feels that she's undeserving, unlovable, and unforgivable, right? When Miss Marsha spoke to her, and when she's sitting here this entire time speaking to Ali, she was offered plenty of times the truth about her sickness and her addiction. She was offered solutions. She was offered clarity, and she's still choosing emotional violence on herself. This is where I get frustrated with Rue. Because the answers were put on the table repeatedly for you, and you're still sitting here. So as a screenwriter, you know you're supposed to change your character decisions. The fact that she stayed the same was a genius way of breaking the rule, because this leans into the character of Rue. This addiction is so stubborn and unwavering. It don't matter the type of help you're offered, you will still suffer because you've got to do that work yourself. And this becomes frustrating. It geniusly puts the emotion of taking care of an addict, the frustration of taking care of an addict, of speaking to an addict, of trying to help an addict, it puts that emotion of frustration right into our hands as an audience, because it's like, what are you not getting? But that's the sickness. They literally can't see anything else, and that's where the help comes in. And it's relentless, and it's unwavering, and it's exhausting, and you are talking to a brick wall. Rue, wake up. The fact that this made me upset, because I'm like, baby, she just told you. How are you not hearing it? And Rue thinks she's not being heard. I don't even think you're like getting like what I'm saying. I love all the facial decisions that Zendaya makes, like as this character. Like, I think Zendaya's genius. I can't stand enough. Just all these little moments that she has, and just like she uses each and every moment to be this character, and it's outstanding. So in that case, we have to discuss forgiveness, because Rue essentially feels that she is unforgivable, and Ali offers her this. Forgiveness is the key of change. I have the entire monologue if y'all want me to do it. I have the entire monologue on deck if you need to hear it again. CJ says, Rue seems to deny anything that doesn't already align with her negative self-image. She won't even allow the light in that Ali is actively trying to shine. Stephanie says she doesn't feel worthy of it yet. And Igbo says the 5 stages of grief are denial, anger, bargaining, depression, acceptance. And what stage we at? We still in denial. I'm tired. Shayna asked, did we ever see that scene of Rue threatening her mom with the object? That's back in season 1. I'm not remembering which episode it was, but that's when Rue was really not well. Y'all are saying yes through this monologue. Here it goes. You think that you, Rue Bennett, are beyond forgiveness. That punishment is way too harsh and also way too easy. It allows you to keep doing exactly what you're doing without change because you deserve it. There's no hope. You're beyond forgiveness. This is why the world keeps getting worse. People keep doing shit that they deem unforgivable, and then in return, they just decide that there's no reason to change. So now you got a whole bunch of people running around who don't give a fuck about redemption. That's scary. Let me tell you something about Ali. Ali has had a longer and worse history than Rue. However, and still, she and we can see him as a good person because he saw himself that way first. And this is essentially the difference between Ali and Rue, is that he gave himself the grace to redeem himself. He has forgiven himself, and he does it every day. Even when he makes those calls to his family and they haven't forgiven him, he already forgave himself. He's just a crackhead trying to do some good in this world. But Rue is still sorry. Rue sees no answers to the evil of the world, and because of that, she wants to opt out. And essentially, she also believes that she has already failed at her redemption. So he asked her, how do you want your mother and your sister to remember you? As someone who tried really hard to become someone I couldn't. There's no redemption for her. I can't be that thing. I can't forgive myself. I don't deserve it. I'll never be that thing. How about I opt out now? Well, I got faith in you. Why? Because I do. Existing is the poetry. We don't have to solve all these big questions. We don't have to have these big, larger than life answers to add purpose to life. Life is the purpose and the answer. Period. And here we are existing because we deserve it. So I have actually had a last question. Let me see what y'all say. He both said, get that Oscar. Thank y'all. Thank y'all. I have a last question. On the phone with his family, he referred to Rue as that kid I'm sponsoring. And I don't know why, but that stayed with me. I'm like remembering it. I feel attached to it because I think inside of me, I don't believe it. And it's giving Jules is my girlfriend from Rue. It's that I'm with that kid I'm sponsoring. He says that to Ali says that when he calls his family. And it felt a little bit to me like he lied or put up a front so he can appear to be this good guy on the redemption to them because they so much don't believe it from him. I'm like, are you sponsoring Rue? Is that official? Does she know that you see her that way? Does Rue see you as friends? I saw y'all as friends, like little crackhead friends, like being cool and helping each other. What are y'all picking up from what I'm putting down? Do y'all remember that? A. Barty says it felt like a lie. I don't, and that's the thing, I'm like questioning myself, like it might not be, or I'm just like, it's just a weird way to describe their relationship. I don't know. I just thought it was a weird way to describe their relationship. Fuck, like I don't find out. We all crackhead friends, Mosley. It is what it is. Oh, okay, it was to keep her anonymous. I mean, maybe it was just a little line that like I was like, what's that? Thank you guys so much for being here. Again, I do Dissections live every Monday evening at 6 p.m. EST because I'm in NYC and that's what it is. Go ahead and follow me on social media. I am JustLatasha on Instagram. I'm JustLatasha404 on Twitter. Please hit me in the DMs, hit me in the mentions. I'll be right there with y'all. And I'll try to be back Thursday. I don't know why I didn't do a video last Thursday. I really didn't feel like it, but I'm going to try to do a video this Thursday. We're getting into holiday season. Girls is getting real lazy around here because, look, I work hard. Okay. Sometimes I need a little, all right. And not, all right, that was a rude joke. That's enough. Thank you guys so much for being here. If you're not a patron, you guys get access to 2 private live chats on patreon.com/JustLatasha. Yesterday, we dissected Moonlight together. And our next dissection will be our VIP dissection. I would invite you guys on Zoom to talk with me on camera to the audience about another incredible, incredible film. I'm always so happy to have these discussions. I'm a Black filmmaker. I'm a Black film lover. I'm a Black screenwriter with a director's eye. Don't forget it. And always, you guys, just be yourselves. Existing is the value. Let's see what y'all saying before we get out of here. Rambo says, I didn't think he was a sponsor, especially since he told her that he was just there if she ever needed someone to chat with. Right. Is it Uchiwali or is it One Mike? Jean says, I mean, we knew he was a sponsor, but I'm not sure if it was clear if he was sponsoring her. I want to know the weight of sponsor, because if and when she relapses, what she did over pancakes. She went to the bathroom to go snort and then came back out and kept eating like nothing happened. Does he take responsibility for that? Does he pick that up? Like a sponsor, I feel like, does the thing to like make you not. So does he like what's the depth of the sponsor? Like how much responsibility is he taking for an Rue? Mira says he downplayed it. I think they both need each other a bit more than either of them realized. Could you imagine? Yes! Amira, look. His family makes him feel like shit. Who knows how he feels about himself when he's alone? He still calls himself a crackhead who's just on the road of redemption, right? And when he sits with Rue, she looks at him with the wonder and the glory, and you are a good person in her eyes. Imagine what that does for his ego, for his emotions, his feelings. Rue essentially makes him feel good while she uses him to try to just think out the mess in her head. She's still not telling the truth, but we're going to get there soon. I hope. But yes, he needs her too, I would imagine. Marquis says, or is he downplaying what he's doing in order to not get their hopes too high? Because this would be a new connection that is supposed to get personal, but he's away from his own kids. Little non-daughter in the house, right? Little daughter, not really daughter figure. It didn't feel accurate, says CJ. I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. All right. Y'all are brilliant. Y'all are fun. Thank you for thinking with me. Thank you for sitting with me for this hour. Thank you for throwing hearts up in the chat. I will see you guys on the internet somewhere else. Come here. Bye.